Hey guys, I'm trying something new today that I'm really actually very excited about. We're gonna make a chocolate cake in the Frybake. I've never done this before, but the reason I'm trying it is I had a request from a friend of mine who I'm going on a backpacking trip in late summer, and he said that it's gonna be his birthday while we are out backpacking. So I'm gonna go ahead and try to make a chocolate cake in the Frybake today. So stay tuned. So I'm just out on my back patio to do this today. I'm not in the mountains, but wanted to show that I'm using a recipe from the NOLS Cookery. So I'm gonna go ahead and post this up on the description of the video here so you can see what I'm using, but this is a fantastic book and it's really informative, so I suggest picking this up and reading it. It's really helpful. Over here I've got all of my dry ingredients. Now keep in mind that when you're in the backcountry, your setup is going to be a little bit different. You're going to have to plan a little bit more, but I've basically got all my dry ingredients there in that bag. I've got the Frybake, and then I've got a pot over there full of rocks because I'm going to use rocks on top of the Frybake to add some additional heat, where if I was actually in the mountains right now, I would be using a twiggy fire on top of the Frybake. So got butter and flour and everything that I need to make this cake. Alright guys, so the first thing that I'm going to do is I've got this pot of rocks that I'm going to get heated up. So I'm going to light my stove. We're gonna get the dry ingredients and the cake mix all mixed up. So I've gone ahead and pre-mixed all of the dry ingredients. What I'm going to do is add a little splash of vanilla. I'm gonna add my water. In the recipe it asks for dried or powdered eggs, but what I'm doing instead is using one egg. So typically like 2 or 3 tablespoons of eggs will equal 1 egg as far as the powdered eggs are concerned. So I'm gonna go ahead and drop that in here because I don't have powdered eggs with me today. So I'm gonna use a real one. And then I'm just gonna go ahead and mix this around. What I do need to do, and you'll see this here in just a second, is add some butter to this, but the big thing is making sure that you don't have any clumps in your cake batter. So, but you want it to also be able to pour out of the bag. So what I'm going to do is just add a little bit more water to this. What's fun about this is you guys are seeing me do this total experiment. I've never done this before, so I'm really excited about it. I've got my rocks heating up in there. What I'm going to do is just set those aside for now, because I need to go ahead and get my butter melted for inside of my batter mix. 2 things are going to happen with this. So not only am I going to melt the butter to go into the mix, but I'm going to get it onto my pan. Once I get the pan heated up, I'm going to use the butter from the pan on this to go ahead and get it ready so it's kind of like a non-stick surface. That's the idea and the plan here. Go ahead and pour that in. So the other benefit here is, like I've mentioned before, now I've got a pan that I can go ahead and dust with some flour. We're going to move this off of the heat. Okay, so you'll see here that I have floured the bottom of the pan. Yes, I have way more flour on the bottom here than I would actually need, but again, it's backpacking. Doesn't have to be really fancy. So I'm gonna go ahead and stick these rocks back on here. Really crank that up and get it nice and hot. Finish mixing my batter. So there's two ways you can go about doing this. What you can do is just run a twiggy fire on the top and not actually have any heat on the bottom, which is something that I'm gonna try a little bit of since I've got the rocks with me. That will make it so it actually gets a good baking action on the pan as opposed to being a full-on like frying pan. So we're gonna try that today. Okay, so now that I've got the rocks nice and heated up, I'm gonna go ahead and turn the heat on this way down, get my scorch buster on there, and then I'm gonna get my Frybake put on. Now the likelihood of you burning this is pretty high, to be totally honest. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut into the bag itself. And I am going to just squeeze this out. Not gonna lie guys, that looks amazing. So I'm gonna go ahead and try to spread this around a little bit. Okay, so now that we've got these rocks here on top of it, we're just gonna let this sit and bake. So I'm gonna turn the heat way down. This is probably gonna take 15 to 20 minutes. Now, keep in mind that doing something like this in the backcountry is going to consume a lot of fuel. So you have to prepare a little bit more for it. But again, you gotta be willing to go out of your comfort zone a little bit when you're doing something like this. Okay, so we are now just a few minutes into the cake going. So we're gonna pull the top off and see what it looks like so far. Starting to see some steam in there. Oh, and it smells amazing. Okay, keep going. All right, what do you think so far? It's coming together. Just getting the rocks heated up again, and I'm gonna let that sit on top of the cake for a while instead of being on the bottom of the heat so I don't burn it. But man, this thing's coming together really nice. All right, look number 2, here we go. Oh, that is looking awesome. Still a little jiggly. Not too bad. Smells so good. That's right. Here we go. Chocolate cake time. It's patience. You gotta have a lot of patience, people. It's cold out here, but it's worth it. Oh, ho, 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 yeah. All right, check again. I think this has been on for about 30 minutes already, so it's cold out here today, which is part of the issue, but I also don't have like a really good heat source on top. The hot rocks work okay, but with it being so cold out here, it's not the most ideal type setup for this. A twiggy fire would be the way to go for sure, but I do have my scorch buster on the bottom, and oh yeah! Let's take a look at that, and yeah. So we need to just turn this a little bit. But that looks awesome. That looks so good right now. Okay guys, so I have taken the rocks off of the top because I'm kind of at the point where I think it's done, at least to the point where if I keep going, I'm just gonna burn the crap out of it. So no, it's not completely done right here, but if you look at it, like, It's spongy and just that like perfect kind of cake consistency you'd want. So what I've got over here is a bunch of chocolate chips. Oh yeah. So the plan here is to go ahead and put a bunch of these on top of it. We're gonna put the lid back on. We're gonna let those babies melt. Alright, so I think that's as much as I'm gonna let those chocolate chips melt. But I want to dig into this. Let's make sure it doesn't fall off. Oh. It is gonna be like pretty burnt on the bottom. Actually, no, it's not. Oh, wow. Guys, seriously, look at that right now. I'm gonna lift this up because this is total success. Like, are you kidding me right now? Oh my gosh. I just made a chocolate cake. Here's the cake. We're gonna give this a try. And it seriously looks just like chocolate cake. Let's try it. Oh my gosh. I cannot tell you how awesome this is right now. This is so good. So good. Wow. Chocolate cake. I didn't think it was possible, but man. Dude, this is a total win. So, thanks for watching, guys. Please subscribe to the channel. Please leave your comments and ask any questions about this, and I'm happy to answer. But thanks for watching. Have a great day.